everyone, and welcome back to Days Out. And today we've got two sites for you: the Scottish Vintage Bus Museum and its compatriot, the Lathalmond Railway Museum. Located to the north of Dunfermline, both museums were once part of an industrial complex. At Lathalmond was a limestone quarry served by tramways being taken over by the Royal Navy during World War II as a store to duplicate the docks at Rosyth. The tramways closed in 1948, with rail access going in 1971. The Royal Navy decommissioned the site in 1993. In 1986, a group of preservationists started to form a collection of buses at Whitburn in West Lothian, moving to Lathalmond in 1995. The museum covers 49 acres, with the collection housing around 160 buses and 30 other vehicles. One of the oldest vehicles in the collection is tram number 23, built in 1885 for the Edinburgh Street Tramways Company. Withdrawn in 1900, it was preserved in 2006. Not all the exhibits in the museum are petrol-powered, some are steam, such as this Marshall S-type roller from 1930. It was delivered new to Edinburgh Corporation and lasted in service until 1989. Being so close to Edinburgh, the collection naturally has a large stud of buses from that city. One of these is this 1967 Leyland Atlantine PDR-21. Some of the buses are kept in the main exhibition hall, which also houses artefacts including models, ticket machines, photographs and workshop tools. On certain days, some of the buses are displayed outside. From left to right are a 1948 Guy Arab Mark III 6LW, a Mark III 5LW, and a 1950 Leyland Tiger PS1. Also outside was this rare 1939 Leyland Tiger TS8 tow wagon. With so many buses, it would be impossible for me to cover everything. So coming up now is a selection of these vehicles illustrating the history and the development of buses over the years. One of the oldest in the collection is this 1922 Southdown Leyland C7. Moving into the 30s now, and we have this 1929 Leyland Tiger TS2. The Tiger came in two batches. The first batch, from 1927 to 42, had a maximum capacity of 39 seats, with a choice of 4 engines, each with 6 cylinders, ranging from 100 to 200 horsepower, with a 4-speed transmission. The pre-war batch had 11 variants, whilst the post-war batch, the PS series, had 5, including 3 for export. Exported examples worked in Sweden, India, South Africa, Canada and Australia. From the 40s, we have this 1943 Guy Arab Mark II 5L, which worked for Plymouth Corporation. Moving into the 1950s, and we have this AEC Regent Mark III, in the colours of the St Helens Corporation. Introduced in 1929, the Regent had a 9.6 litre engine. There were 5 variants in total, although the Mark IV was an experimental one-off with an underfloor engine. The Mark III entered service in 1950 for use outside of London, with the last examples going to Reading Corporation in 1956. However, 76 Mark IIIs did see service in the capital. This led to the RT model in 1939, with 4,825 being built. It had an 8.8 litre engine with a pre-selective gearbox. So this one unfortunately is a little bit hemmed in, but no bus collection would be complete without one of these, an AEC London Transport Routemaster. Introduced in 1954, the Routemaster replaced the Regent with a seating capacity of 72 passengers. In total, 2,876 were built, the last appearing in 1968. It came with 3 engines, 2 from AEC and 1 from Leyland. All 3 had 6 cylinders with a 4-speed either semi or fully automatic gearbox. An experimental version, known as the Fruitmaster, had its engine at the rear, front door and full-width windscreen. It was withdrawn in 1983. 1989 saw the first Routemaster RM1 handed over to the London Transport Museum, but they remained in service until 2005, with some still used on heritage routes. Moving into the 60s, we have a 1960 Daimler CVG 6LX30 used by Hunter A1 in Kilmarnock, and a 1965 Leyland Leopard PSU3 3R. From 1976 is a Scottish Omnibus's Sedon Pennine Mark 7, whilst the youngest vehicle in the collection is a 2002 Dennis Dart SPD from Lothian Buses. Of course, with a museum like this, there is always a restoration project on, and one of them is this, the 1978 Volvo Elsa B5510. To carry out restoration work, the group has a fully equipped workshop, which is sometimes open for visitors. Inside was a Guy Victory Mark II 6LXB used by China Motor Buses in Hong Kong, dating from 1980. Covering such a large area, the group maintains a fleet of working buses to transport visitors around the site. On this day, the working fleet included two Leyland Fleetline FE30 AGRs from 1976 and 1978, and a 1972 Leyland Atlantine PDR1A. At the south end of the site is a standard gauge railway, housed in the original West of Fife Minerals Railway shed of 1864. As mentioned earlier, the old limestone quarry was served by a series of tramways. This is reflected by the 3-foot gauge West of Fife Munition Railway. The railway stock came from a peat works, whilst the track is from the Ministry of Defence. At the other end of the site we have this Ruston Hornsby 48DS, supplied to Blackett, Hutton and Company in Guysborough. It later went to various sites, coming here to Lathalmond in 2017. At the back of the shed we have Texaco, supplied to the Ministry of Fuel and Power by Fowler in 1958. Initially this locomotive worked in Essex, but then it went to go work for Shell at Ardrossan and finally Texaco at Granton. Outside the shed are the frames of Andrew Barclay 040 saddle tank number 29 from 1908 and Hunslet 040 diesel hydraulic number 251 from 1980. In service was number 251 Sister number 250, also from 1980 and rebuilt by the Yorkshire Engine Company in 1994. Used by the MOD, she worked at Gosport and Rosyth docks via Singapore. Two other locomotives are Andrew Barclay 040 saddle tank number 17 from 1950. Withdrawn in 1982, she was the last working locomotive in NCB service. And Andrew Barclay 040 diesel mechanical number 358 from 1945. So that was our visit to these two wonderful museums, and at this point I'd like to extend my gratitude to all of the volunteers here. They've been absolutely fantastic with this shoot, especially allowing me into certain parts of the site that aren't normally open to the public. Now at the start of the video I mentioned this is a former military complex, and coming up in the next days out we'll be visiting the Museum of Flight. If you have enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a comment. Hope you guys liked the video, and I'll see you all at the Museum of Flight. Goodbye for now.